I want to take a brief moment to talk about a real oddity in the current Secret Lair offerings. The More Adventures in Middle-earth, either foil or non-foil, is a Lord of the Rings Secret Lair that is utilising art from the animated movie. That's the 1978 Ralph Bakshi movie with the incredible poster. The poster art is not featured in the Secret Lair, but don't worry, we actually got that art as a Gandalf Friend of the Shire as a promo for Command Fests and Magic Fests too. I went to Command Fest London recently and got a copy of this, and I'm very happy to have it. I think the card is gorgeous. I love how the border pops. Would have loved if they'd done an old border on this perhaps, but I actually think the art within this frame still looks really nice. The Secret Lair itself is Slip on the Ring, Gandalf Friend of the Shire, Mirror of Galadriel, and Shire Terrace. Now elsewhere in this Secret Lair, the roundup and selection, there are some incredible things. There's the whole like post-apocalyptic skeletons. There's a whole mountains featuring lyrics from Mountain Goats on it, and Wizard of Barge is back with some really sweet looking goblins. I would actually go as far as to say, when you look at the current offerings of Secret Lairs, all of them are really cool. Like, they might not be to your flavour or to your taste, but they're also unique and interesting. And this one is unique in the sense that it's using stills from the original movie, but my god, do these look a bit shit. And also, why these cards? I think Prof has already done a video on this. I haven't watched it, but I saw the thumbnail, so you probably already know that these cards aren't worth much. A quick check of market averages, all 4 cards in paper are worth 72 cents. This may well be, and I'm going to say this with quite confidence actually, this is the worst value proposition Secret Lair in the history of Secret Lairs. Now, people complained when there was a one singular copy of Bitter Blossom and some tokens because it kind of really pulled the mask off for what this was. Wizards of the Coast selling us singles. You were paying £30 or £40 for one singular card and some tokens. This is straight to consumer single sales. That is what Secret Lairs are. But this one is wild because it's so low in value and the cards aren't even useful. There is an argument that it's probably worth more than, say, the basic land ones. If you were to go looking for basic lands, of course, you can get versions of every basic land for nothing, for pennies, right? Of course, the alternate art versions of those cards are worth more if you get special promo lands. Some of the Secret Lair lands have crept up in value a little bit. But each of the cards chosen are not good. A quick roundup of them. Gandalf Friend of the Shire is the only rare of the pack. And of course, rares aren't where all the value is. Like the alternate art Risen Reef and a similar one of this set is great and everything. Like uncommons and commons can be powerful. Brainstorms and dark rituals. I'm not saying everything has to be rare, but this Gandalf already has like 1,000,001 treatments already. It has the original, then it has the ring variant, then it has the party variant, then you got the Magic Fest variant, and then you have perhaps the absolute goddamn ugliest of them all, this rather dark looking Gandalf Friend of the Shire, which if this was in the old border would kind of justify its existence to an extent, but instead we've got new border, 1970s art. What the fuck? My first thought is that perhaps they are planning to have one of the other Gandalfs, but of course this is depicting Gandalf in his darker clothing from earlier in the Lord of the Rings stories, so it couldn't have been that early in production they were considering doing Gandalf the White with this art piece. Or, here's a bit of tinfoil hat, they were going to do Gandalf the White, knowing it's a desirable chase card from the set, one of the few cards in the set worth over $10, the one that doubles into the battlefield and leaves the battlefield's effects. But then they decided not to do that because they didn't want to put chase cards into this, and they pivoted and picked a different still from the movie. And I just want to focus on the fact that these are stills from the movie too. There's very little effort gone into these, in a sense that you are just taking stills from a movie, existing art. And I think you've also picked weird moments and bad looking moments for bad cards. Next up we have Mirror of Galadriel, another uncommon that scries 1 and draws a card and it costs less for each legendary creature you control. Why the fuck is this in here? Like, could this not have been one of the Galadriel cards using this art? Couldn't this have been any other moment from the bloody movie? Couldn't this have been the other depiction of Aragorn to shut up all the racists that are upset that he's black in this depiction? No, actually, fuck them, let them burn. What is this? Why is it in the Secret Lair? Who thought this was a good idea? Then we have Shire Terrace, which I'm wondering if it was meant to originally be Shire. Like maybe they thought this land that produces food would be a modern staple. So when they thought that, they decided, no, don't put it into the Secret Lair. That's too much value. Let's drop it for this marginally maybe commander playable, strictly better Bant panorama. Maybe it's just that they wanted to I'm literally scrambling. I'm grasping at straws to figure out why the fuck this is in here. Maybe someone is a fan of the Shire and wanted a depiction of it from the 1970s movie because they're nostalgic for it. That's my thought. My thought is it's just some sort of passion project, some sort of picks for one person who got to design this secret lair, and it's not really designed to sell to anyone. The last one is this one, Slip on the Ring, which I think is maybe the best card in it other than Gandalf. Exile target could you own, then return to the battlefield. I love a flicker effect, and the ring tempts you. I played this card several times in Limited so far, and it's been pretty decent. It's like sort of pseudo combat trick, reset an ATB, tempt a ring. But that's when I've drafted out of a pack, not bought in a secret lair. What I'm thinking here with this is that they wanted to depict Frodo and the ring somewhere in this. Bearing in mind, I think this is Frodo and the Gandalf art as well. I'll be honest with you, I've not seen the animated movie. I think that once upon a time, at some point in the development of this, of the brainstorming of this was going to be the One Ring. But after it got decided to be put into bundles and also have the Chase serialized ring as well, maybe they decided not to do another version of the ring. Although Gandalf has more versions than the ring if we don't include the serialized one. Why was this pick? The value proposition is bad, the cards are undesirable and borderline unplayable outside of Limited. I just do not understand how this is such a fumble and a fail of a secret lair. And the really weird thing is, you kind of only have one fucking shot at this, right? The reason we've seen 3 to 4 legendaries of every single character from Lord of the Rings is that we're not coming back. I get the impression this is a one and done deal, and Magic and Wizards are kind of aware of that, so we get 4 Gandalfs, 4 Frodos, 3 Sams, 3 Pippins, and so on and so on. So you've got your one shot at Lord of the Rings, and also this weird, quirky reference to an old popular Lord of the Rings, like tertiary media adaptation, and you do this? You drop the ball this fucking hard? It is hilarious. This is by far, without exaggeration, the worst secret lair we have ever seen. I guess perhaps you could argue The Walking Dead might be in terms of its impact to the culture, the game, the legacy of the game, and so on, and what it spawned from that, the outrage. But if we're talking about raw value and the cards you want in your decks, outside of someone who's got a real nostalgic attachment to this cartoon, these are dog shit. And that's one thing I do want to end the video on as well, is that having nostalgia for it and wanting it is absolutely fine, is absolutely valid. I've bought some really shit Warhammer stuff because I'm nostalgic for it from when I was a kid. But the point is, the cards don't have to be trash and only be nostalgia bait. They can be nostalgia bait and also be something interesting. They don't even have to be the One Ring interesting. There are so many other more powerful, more playable, more interesting cards that could have had some sort of different art depiction from the animated film that don't. And instead we have this. And it is very funny. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. I'd actually love to hear if you're ordering this secret lair. I think that might be one of the least successful secret lairs of all time, although maybe Lord of the Rings does carry it a little bit. But tell me in the comments, are you ordering this? Thanks for watching. If this video is brought to you by CoolStuffInc.com, hit the link in the description below to get 5% off your order, and I'll help support the show, I fumbled in the next line, and I'll see you in the next one.